All right, teachers, leaders, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty special, a new framework for project-based learning from PBL Future Labs. It's designed to help you build incredible, real-world projects for your students. So let's jump right in and tackle the one big question this whole thing is built to solve.
This is the big one, isn't it? We've all been there. You're staring at a curriculum standard, a line of text, and you're thinking, how on earth do I make this come alive? How do we turn that requirement into something that gets our students genuinely fired up to learn?
Before we go any further, just pause for a second and think about that. The best project you've ever seen. What made it so good? I'm willing to bet it felt real, right? It had a purpose, and the students were totally invested. That feeling, that's exactly what we're aiming for here.
And that is precisely where the PBL Future Labs Learning Mission Framework comes in. It is a practical, step-by-step answer to that engagement problem. It's a system designed to help you take any standard and spin it into a compelling, real-world mission.
So how does it actually work? Well, the real magic here is how simple it is, especially because it uses AI as your creative partner. It's a super straightforward three-step process that basically acts as your co-pilot, making it incredibly fast and efficient, which, for busy teachers, is everything.
And here they are, the 3 steps. It's a really clean workflow. First, you create the project's foundation. Second, you build out the actual mission structure. And third, you create the presentation you'll use to launch it with your students. It takes you right from that initial spark of an idea to a mission that's ready to go.
Step 1 is where you begin, and it could not be easier. You literally just copy your curriculum standard, drop it into an AI tool like Google Gemini with this specific prompt, and let it generate a bunch of project ideas for you. The prompt is specifically designed to make sure the ideas are authentic and connected to your local community. Okay, so the AI gives you a few options. You just scan through and pick the one that makes you go, oh yeah, my kids would totally get into that. Then you're on to step 2. You take that favorite idea and you feed it back into the AI with a new prompt. This time, you're asking it to build out the whole mission. We're talking the story, the activities, even the specific roles for students.
And finally, step 3. Honestly, this is a game changer for saving time. You take everything that was just generated and use this last prompt to have the AI organize it all into a slide-by-slide presentation. It even suggests what to write and what visuals to use. You can go from a standard to a finished slide deck in just a few minutes.
Now, that all sounds great in theory, but let's see what it looks like in practice. Let's walk through a real example from start to finish and watch how a kind of dry curriculum standard gets transformed into a genuinely exciting mission for students.
Here we go. So the standard is from the Australian science curriculum, and it's basically about how habitats affect living things. We run that through the step 1 prompt, and look what it came up with. The second option is just fantastic, a marine microhabitat study at the local St Kilda Pier. You can immediately see how that's something kids could actually get their hands on.
And right there, that's the transformation. The boring curriculum code AC9S6U01 becomes the St. Kilda Pier Conservation Mission. How cool is that? It immediately has a purpose, a real place, and a sense of importance. It's not a standard anymore, it's an adventure.
The mission launches with this killer hook. A quiet crisis is unfolding. It creates this instant sense of urgency. Students are cast as marine researchers right from the jump. And the very first activity? So simple, 0 prep. Just sketch what you think lives on the pier. It gets them thinking and gets their curiosity firing on all cylinders.
So the main task is a survey. But check out these team roles. These aren't just group leader or note taker. Every single student gets a specific scientific job. You've got the title impact analyst, the substrate specialist. Each role is critical, which means every student is a vital part of the team, digging deep into one piece of the puzzle.
And of course, you need clarity. The AI also puts together a really simple, clear rubric. From the very first day, students know exactly what they're aiming for in their investigation, their analysis, and their teamwork. There are no guessing games about what success looks like.
Okay, so we've just seen the what and the how with that awesome example. But the reason this process works so well isn't an accident. It's all built on a really solid educational foundation. So let's take a quick look at the why.
It's all built on 7 core pillars of what makes project-based learning truly powerful. This ensures that these missions are not only engaging, but that they're also academically rigorous and just plain good teaching. And here are the 7 pillars. Having a compelling, driving question, making sure there's sustained inquiry, true authenticity, giving students voice and choice,
integrating AI in a meaningful way, fostering real collaboration, and ending with a public product that matters to an audience beyond the teacher.
Now, they're all super important, but let's just double-click on authenticity for a second, because this one is so often the real game changer. When students are studying a real peer in their own city, like in our example, the motivation is completely different. It stops being about getting a grade and starts being about actually understanding their world. The work itself becomes the reward.
So you've seen the framework, you've seen the AI-powered process, you've seen a real example, and you know the educational thinking behind it. Now it's time to start imagining what this could look like in your classroom.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of it. That's the dream, right? The whole goal is to design a mission so compelling that your students grab the reins and drive their own learning, with you acting as their guide and facilitator.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. We looked at a quick one-lesson mission, but what else could you do? How could you use this three-step process for a totally different subject? Or stretch it out over a few weeks for a really deep dive? The framework is there, it's flexible, and the potential is huge. Now it's your turn to launch a mission.